Did you ever wonder where the company that made Plan B had started? You didn't? Well, we're going to find out either way. This is their first ever film, An Ant's Life. An Ant's Life is an animated film from 1998, brought to us by Spank Play Entertainment, the same people who brought us Plan B, which explains why a lot of the same names in the credits are reoccurring in this film, director and mind behind it all, Michael Schlepp included. Like how Plan B was a ripoff of a B movie, this was meant to be a ripoff of another film called An Ant's Life, as well as a film that also came out that same year, Bugs with a Z, because the Z makes it sound cool. And they even re-released this film around the same time that communist manifesto known as Ant Bully came out in 2006. But here's the big draw of this film. It was the first film this company had ever made, hence why it's only 25 minutes, whereas most of their other projects are around 40 minutes. I'm not even going to attempt a witty segue. Let's just get this over with. This is An Ant's Life. We begin with a caterpillar falling around through some brambles as he tries to escape predators. This will become important later in the movie's story, believe me. After a title drop, we then see our three main ants, Rose, Webster, and I Don't Know. They run into their friend Heimlich, the caterpillar from earlier, as they talk about some of the predators he was hiding from. Some geckos that made their way into their backyard from Malaysia.
I am so sick of these non-native species just waltzing in.
Whatever you ants do, just make sure there's no liberal news outlets watching. So as the ants and the caterpillar part ways, the three come face to face with an ant queen with wings named Josephine. She says that she's actually a sister of theirs that they had never heard of up until this point, and it seems that she's looking for a local anthill.
I'm looking for help. That's why I'm so glad to meet you.
Huh?
You can help me build a new anthill.
A new anthill?
Yes.
Oh, how exciting!
Oh yeah, nothing suspicious about that. Not at all. I'm personally not falling for it. Josephine, we want to know where your 33,000 deleted emails are. Back with Heimlich, he continues his fleeing from the previously mentioned geckos, who go by the names of Perry and Puck, as they begin to discuss whether or not they should eat him.
He's dead, Perry. Don't worry. This place is crawling with tasty bugs.
Why don't they just eat him again? It can't be because he's dead, because pretty sure that most animals, geckos included, don't really care if the insects they consume are living or not.
He's not dead. Dead him. Arg! He was just playing dead.
Don't worry, Puck. We'll get him someday.
Hope you're ready to see a lot of this in this film, because it's going to crop up a lot. Scenes of characters either standing around talking or chase scenes set to the exact same repeated jazz music. Back with the ants, they finally work their way into the abandoned anthill for Josephine to set up shop in the caverns.
Oh, my own queen's chamber. And here's the nursery for eggs.
Ew, that's disgusting. Never do that again. So Rose and Webster head off to find more food while I Don't Know takes care of the eggs. They reunite with Milheim again as he's eating, or rather moving his mouth up and down near a leaf that's on the ground. Because clearly, this is how one correctly eats.
Gigi. Gigi, what are you eating?
Frank, we're on our honeymoon.
Huh?
Marriage is a great source of protein.
Wow, this film supposedly aimed at children is surprisingly dark. Speaking of which, Heisendeisen begins shaking, as well as wiggling on the ground as he becomes ensphered in a white ball of yarn. Oh wait, that's supposed to be a cocoon. And let me tell you, I don't know what this face can be applied to, but I'm pretty sure it is very wrong for a plethora of different reasons. Looking out for their friend, Rose and Webster roll the cocoon under a rock and out of sight of potential predators. Give them points for being loyal friends, I guess. Meanwhile, with this mantis, who goes by the name of Jojo, by the way, she begins to have this altercation with the geckos in a battle to see who's the real predator in this food chain.
This is my niche in the food chain, not yours.
Yeah, right. This ecosystem is ours, Bug.
You tropical lizards won't survive the first frost.
Sorry, Mantis. I don't like chatting with lunch.
Again, not an animal expert here, but pretty sure that a gecko versus a praying mantis would end in favor of the gecko. What I'm trying to say is that this animated film supposedly aimed at children does not really make a whole lot of sense.
Oh, it's like a dream. A gorgeous nest, food, little grub.
Oh my gosh, oh jeez! Why would you show that? And then we get a montage complete with the same music repeated again, and even reused footage from earlier of the mantis eating her mate, the caterpillar inside the spring-looking thing relieving himself, and Josephine spitting out eggs. As Webster heads out to get more seeds for them to eat, she overhears Josephine reveal that she's actually not related to them, and that she's actually the villain of the movie. Clearly nobody saw this coming.
Then we'll show those saps who's in charge. Rose, Thang, and Dee Dee think you're their nieces. Ha! Wrong family, wrong species.
As Webster goes to alert Rose, it seems that Saul has hatched into a moth? Is that even a thing that happens with caterpillars? I admit, I'm not an insect expert here, but is this seriously a thing that happens with caterpillars? As Webster alerts Rose about Josephine's true intentions, which she just buys into rather quickly, they decide on a plan. They'll lure her and her grubs out towards the geckos who will eat them. And Irv, the moth, can lure them to the geckos, which, you guessed it, results in another chase scene with the same repeated music. And the real shocking thing is this plan actually works. Josephine and the grubs are eaten by the geckos. And just before the geckos can eat our heroes, this happens.
Stop interrupting my lunch.
Why, you?
Again, wow, this film supposedly aimed at children is surprisingly dark.
Sal, you're a moth. I like moths. Too bad I just finished brunch.
Oh? Sal, you were great. Yeah, thanks to you, we survived another day in this buggy bug world. And that's not easy.
So in conclusion, Ant's life, it suffers from a lot of the same problems that Plan B had. Bad animation, repeated music, subpar voice acting at best. And again, it's surprisingly dark and kind of scary in certain scenes. But the one silver lining here is that this film is mercifully short, only clocking in at around 25 minutes, versus Plan B's almost 40-minute runtime, making this very silly and, at certain times, very dark children's film a very quick sit-through. Will I ever have to talk about any other movies from Spank Play Entertainment? Hopefully not, but knowing how much the people I work with like to torture me, I just might end up doing it at some other time this year. But thankfully until then, I'm going to watch some Hermie the Caterpillar to try and clean my palate of what I just watched. May Jesus be with you.
A bee? In Antopia? Go back to Bee City. Your kind isn't welcome here.
No, I swear, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just a regular ant like you.
You're not an ant, you're a bee.